Welcome to Study Medicine. Study Medicine provides information about 59 Australian university degree paths to becoming a doctor. The way Study Medicine works is to help you with information to enable you to identify, research, compare and determine how and when to apply for all medicine degrees in Australia. The information provided by Study Medicine includes the unique Study Medicine degree path summary, which is a visual format which helps you understand how all the medicine degrees in Australia work. You can then research each one of these degrees with detailed and comprehensive information, including information such as the selection criteria for an interview and the selection criteria for a place. Once you have all this information, you can then compare all of the degrees that lead to medicine in Australia on a side-by-side basis in order to understand which are the degree paths that give you your greatest chance to be accepted into medicine. And finally, Study Medicine provides information about all of the deadlines that pertain to those degrees in Australia for the next month. So as you know, getting into medicine in Australia is highly competitive, with, for example, last year the University of New South Wales receiving 2,593 applications for just 189 places, giving local students just a 6% chance of acceptance. So Study Medicine provides information to help you improve your chances to be accepted into medicine by giving you detailed and up-to-date information. So this video shows you how Study Medicine specifically works. Study Medicine provides information about the 20 university degree programs to medicine in Australia at both a summary level and at a detail level. And this video walks you through how Study Medicine works as it pertains to Macquarie University's medical program at a detail level. So let's head into the free trial and see how Study Medicine works. So here we are in Study Medicine in Macquarie University's medicine detail page. So the first part of Study Medicine, it just gives a quick recap of the previous pages that talked about Macquarie University's program at a summary level. And as we saw there, Macquarie has three paths to medicine. The direct entry path through the Bachelor of Clinical Sciences degree, and that is for international students. The indirect path for local students or domestic students through the Bachelor of Clinical Science. And of course you can do postgraduate medicine at Macquarie if you have a previous degree, whether that be an undergraduate degree or a postgraduate degree. This first part of Study Medicine in the detailed entry requirements talks about the key attributes of that medicine program. And those attributes can relate to a number of things, including, as you can see here, detailed description of how Macquarie Medicine's 10-year rule works, how the combined clinical science degree works, information about GAMSAT and UCAT, and any particular benefits of the program. Once you get through the high-level summary, you get into the key attribute of Study Medicine, which is the detailed requirements table. This information, like for all Study Medicine information, is colour-coded with coloured symbols. As we saw before, purple rectangles relate to high school requirements, the diamonds relate to undergraduate degrees, be that non-medical degrees, which are orange or grey, or undergraduate medicine degrees, which are green. And finally, Study Medicine uses blue ovals to depict postgraduate degree path programs. So we saw before, as I said, that Macquarie Medicine has three paths to medicine, and this detailed page goes through all of the specific requirements, and there's particular information that I want to point out. So for example, information in here talks about how old your qualifications need to be if you're going through the undergraduate or postgraduate degree path to Macquarie Medicine. Information in the selection criteria part of Study Medicine goes through how specific attributes are defined and calculated. So in the case of Macquarie, it's important to know that higher degrees are able to be included in the GPA calculation. When you're looking at the GAMSAT, it's also important to know how that's calculated, and in the case of Macquarie, you have to have a minimum overall score of 50 and a minimum of 50 in each section. Other key information that's included in this table are, for example, there's 20 interview places reserved for Bachelor of Clinical Science graduates coming through degree path number 2. And finally, in this page, you can see the detailed information about how to apply as it pertains to particular cohorts such as domestic, international and Indigenous applicants. The third part of the detailed information about Macquarie Medicine in the detailed free trial information is the comparator. So you can see in the previous free trial summary that Macquarie University's paths can be depicted in the visual summary, and that shows these 3 paths going to medicine. The important thing about the comparator is you then can compare Macquarie University's degree paths to medicine against each one of the universities in Australia that have a medical program. So let's have a look at how Macquarie Medicine's program works as it compares to ANU. Now, interestingly, both ANU and Macquarie have 3 paths to their postgraduate medicine degrees. I particularly want to have a look at the indirect domestic path, the Bachelor of Clinical Science at Macquarie, and to compare that with ANU's paths to medicine offered through the Bachelor of Health Science. You can see here that the ATAR requirements at Macquarie and at ANU are the same, but there's specific differences in the types of subject prerequisites. We saw before with Macquarie that they have assumed knowledge and that the maths prerequisite, or the maths subject here, has got a star on it to show that you could also do maths as a bridging course at Macquarie. This compares with ANU. ANU are now bringing in mandatory maths and English from 2022. So that means if you don't have maths, there's a very big difference in whether you can apply for ANU or whether you can apply for Macquarie. ANU are also bringing in some additional requirements, such as a 3 skills requirement from 2020. So that may change your thoughts about whether you're going to apply for ANU or whether you're going to apply for Macquarie. The next thing to see is that at ANU there's some selection criteria that take place between high school and the Bachelor of Health Sciences degree, which is not just ATAR, but there's also an assessment of the supplementary application form, whereas at Macquarie it's just your ATAR that gets you from high school through into the Bachelor of Clinical Science. At Macquarie, however, you have to do human anatomy and human physiology in your undergraduate degree. There's no such requirement at ANU. However, when you're looking at the selection criteria when you're going from the Bachelor of Health Science degree into the postgraduate medicine degree, there's a different type of set of criteria that apply at ANU compared to Macquarie. Macquarie, it's a 50-50 interview versus GAMSAT, whereas at ANU, it's your interview, your GPA, you have to complete the pre-medicine stream of the Bachelor of Health Science degree, and there's an assessment of the application statement. So comparing ANU with Macquarie gives you a very clear and concise understanding of the attributes otherwise of applying for Macquarie versus applying for ANU. Of course, if you go through the comparator in the study medicine system, you can see that it pertains to each one of the universities with a medical program. In the free trial, it's only possible to see ANU's details, but if you choose to sign up for study medicine, you will be able to see each one of these medical programs and then compare each one on a side-by-side basis with Macquarie and with any other degree that you're interested in to get a very clear understanding of how those degree paths work and what gives you your greatest chance of being accepted into medicine. Like all things with study medicine, it's really important that you check the information before making any key decisions. So where to from here? Well, if you're interested in signing up for study medicine, you can get further information about pricing, because study medicine is available on a subscription basis through the pricing tab. If you're interested in more information about study medicine, head back into the free trial, listen to the Macquarie Medicine summary level, or you can get more information about the deadline listing in study medicine by going to this tab, the deadline listing. So, as always, thanks very much for listening. I wish you a successful journey along your path to becoming a doctor.